Alrighty. It's been a while, huh? Let's talk about this one, shall we? The brand new Saucony Exodus Ultra is my favorite trail shoe from Saucony yet. Designed to provide trail runners with a bouncy and dynamic ride, the shoes perform surprisingly well in a variety of conditions and will finally work for longer efforts where comfort is the name of the game. While the Peregrine is the more mainstream popular choice that works for shorter efforts, and the previous Endorphin Trail being an outright disaster, I didn't know what to expect out of the Exodus Ultra, and boy, was I surprised. A solidly thick layer of Power Run EVA and Power Run PB midsole combine to create a stable, bouncy stack of cushion that gobbles up even the most technical trails. Grip is aided by super deep Power Track lugs, and a breathable mesh upper provide a comfortable and accommodating fit. What we get is a light for its size trail beast that's ready to handle just about anything you can throw at it. All of that being said, there are a couple of important things to note. Let's dive in.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. It has been a while. It's been a couple of weeks, only because we had our in-person race, Tiger Claw, occur last weekend. It just takes over our lives for a couple of weeks, months, the whole year. And it was amazing. We had our first 50-mile distance, the Tiger Claw double. We had our 25-mile distance, hundreds of people. So much fun. There will be a video popping on this channel here very, very soon that will recap the day. I hope that you get a chance to enjoy it. But today, this is a review, and we're here to talk about a shoe from Saucony, the Exodus Ultra. And man, I like it a lot. Yeah, seriously, this shoe is actually a complete surprise. So I have a lot of things to say about it. Likes, dislikes, all the good stuff you expect from my reviews. But of course, before I get into it, I have to point out that this shoe was provided for review by Running Warehouse. I'm under no obligation to say anything positive or negative about the shoe. I'm not financially compensated for anything that I say in this review. All opinions are my own. No one has to approve it. You're the first that gets to view it. I hope you pat yourself on the back and give yourself a lollipop. Let's get into the things I like and dislike about the Exodus Trail, starting as always with the things that I like. The cushion. The ride in the shoe is super fun. It's very dynamic. It's bouncy. It gives you all the protection that you need underfoot while not being uncomfortable. And I believe it's because of the combination of Power Run EVA and Power Run PB midsoles that Saucony created. The Power Run EVA really combines to be like a dense, more responsive sort of outer layer, while the PB adds that nice dynamic cushion through the middle. So what you get is a shoe that is both stable on trails, both technical and non-technical trails, but also really fun, fast, and bouncy. I do want to highlight the fact that the insole on this shoe is really nice. It's extra thick. It has plenty of bounce. I have well over 100 miles in these shoes now, and that insole hasn't broken down or flattened out at all. And that is a huge like from me. So the cushion and the overall ride of the shoe, super comfortable, is what makes it a great long distance shoe and makes it go up in my list of shoes that I really enjoy for longer efforts. Grip. The outsole. Power Track outsole on this thing provides tons of grip. Now, I remember talking about the Power Track outsole on the Peregrine review that I dropped on this channel here very recently. What you get here are deeper, bigger lugs, that chevron shape. There's less of them compared to the Peregrine. So it seems more purposefully designed for softer trails or muddier conditions, and it works really well in those conditions. But I think it really works well in drier conditions and technical trails as well, which I couldn't necessarily say about the Peregrine. I think by having these deeper lugs, a bit more spacing between them, it lends this shoe to be primarily trail, but works in all sorts of conditions and terrain. And boy, is it fun. Just being able to have that level of trust in your shoe, being able to get the grip when you need the grip, it's a nice thing. It's a good thing. And, you know, I'll add that it's actually holding up really well. I just sort of am looking at the lugs now. They still have little manufacturing nubs on the bottom that hasn't worn down at all. Again, even with about 100 miles on this shoe, that says a lot. So we're getting some good wear and tear on this thing. Great job, Saucony. And finally, it can go long. Insert dramatic pause. The shoe itself is designed to go into that ultra realm, hence the name Exodus Ultra, obviously. What I wasn't able to get with the Peregrine is the sensation that the shoe would hold up for as long as I wanted to run in the shoe. There comes a point where foot pain and fatigue and the shoe kind of works against you for those longer efforts. I don't get that with this shoe. What I get is a sensation that this shoe can go as long as I want it to go, which I haven't actually felt from a Saucony trail shoe at all, ever. So I'm really liking what this shoe is capable of. The fact that I can now look at this and go, yeah, I could run a 50K in this. I could run a 50 miler in this shoe. That's great. That says a lot about the Exodus Ultra, and I'm excited to add it to my rotation. That being said, it's not all Old Bay potato chips and 7-game NHL playoff series. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the Exodus Ultra. Let's get to those now. The ankle collar, specifically on the lateral side, I found that my lateral malleolus, which is the bump on the side of your ankle, it just kept rubbing on this ankle collar, which I have not really encountered in many trail shoes. It just feels like the steepness of this cut is a little dramatic. It doesn't have enough room for my ankle to really want to move in there comfortably. I might have to take some scissors and actually cut this manually and customize it. That, in addition to the fact that getting a good ankle lock is a bit difficult in this shoe. It's something I felt right out of the box and maybe don't feel so much now as the shoe has broken in, especially around that ankle collar. But it's something that made those first 50, 60 miles in the shoe super uncomfortable. I just had to be really patient with it. So obviously everyone will be a bit different. Everyone's malleolus is a bit different. So I just hope you don't encounter the same problem that I did. That might also be the most times I've said malleolus in a review. Malleolus. The tongue, this is a super nitpicky gripe that I have with the shoe. It's not a full gusseted tongue. It's basically a tongue that is strapped down across the midfoot, but does not provide any sort of embracing of your foot. So there's really not a proper lockdown around your foot. The laces provide a little bit of that, but you're going to get a bunch of fabric overlays and some bending of some things here across the top that can make it a cumbersome fit through the midfoot. Not super uncomfortable. Again, very nitpicky. I think it could all be swayed with either using eyelets for the laces to get into this upper fabric in combination with an actual gusseted tongue to wrap around your foot, just to, enhance that sensation of a proper midfoot fit. The way that this tongue fits now, it doesn't provide a ton of protection from the top or wraparound foot feel. And finally, foot movement. Again, not a huge dislike. I did notice it a bit on my run today, which tended to be a bit more technical. I had some more swoopy turns where I sort of had to navigate them. The foot wants to move around. It is because the upper of the shoe is a bit more voluminous. I think some of you might like that. Those of you who have a wider forefoot or toes that need a bit more room, the shoe has the room to accommodate feet like that. What ends up happening, though, is if you're wearing thinner socks or you have a foot that might be a bit less voluminous, it's just going to give you a little bit of extra room for your foot to move around, which makes lateral stability a bit non-existent on sharper turns, or if you are running through rain and wetness where your foot can slide around on that shoe a bit more. Again, not detrimental. It is a very slight nitpick. If you do a proper lockdown through the midfoot and get that shoe wrapped around your ankle properly, you'll have less of that. Those are the two areas where I tend to have the most problems, which ultimately leads to foot movement in the times and areas where you don't want that to happen. But that's it for dislikes of the Exodus Ultra. Let's get a bit more specific in our breakdown where we talk about build quality, comfort, fit, price, and look. Starting as always with build quality. I think the materials they're using in the Exodus Ultra are really good. I don't always have positive things to say about Power Run EVA or Power Track outsole. In this case, the ingredients make the recipe a delicious dish to enjoy. I foresee getting plenty of miles out of this shoe, hundreds of miles out of this shoe, comfortable miles out of the shoe. I just think it goes a long way in providing a comfortable experience for those ultra distances. I'm glad they put the word ultra in the name of the shoe, just so we know it actually works in those scenarios. But yeah, I think the materials are great. Comfort, I've already mentioned it, that midsole, solid. The 6mm drop might be a bit of a concern for some of you. I promise it does not feel like a 6mm drop. If anything, it feels closer to a 4 or a 3mm drop. That's getting super precise in how a shoe feels, but the overall comfort, that midsole material, the combination of the EVA and the PB, it is great. The upper also breathable, gives you the volume. There's a bit of discomfort here through the midfoot and around the ankle collar. Those are my biggest gripes, which kind of go hand in hand with the fit. I don't think that the shoe fits poorly. It does fit true to size. I'm a size 11. This is size 11. It works well. I just think getting a good lockdown, like a really precise lockdown, can be a bit difficult in this shoe. And I think, one more version and they have it on lock. I hope they don't change too much of this, because this is a really good direction that they're moving in with the Exodus Ultra. Price, the shoe's going to come in right around $150 on Running Warehouse, which is on the steeper end of things. Not super expensive, but also not affordable. That is a price that I would probably be willing to pay for this shoe because of the amount of joy that I've gotten out of running in it. Looks, I don't know if I'm totally sold on the neon yellow kind of glow green that this shoe is. There are other color versions coming out that look a bit better in my opinion. You know, I guess I get what they're going for, especially if you compare it to the Paragon 12, which is also very bright. It's fine. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I'm maybe just not sold on the full neon. Maybe not yet. Bringing us finally to our conclusion. If you can't tell, I like the Exodus Ultra. I do like you. I think Saucony finally figured out how to deliver a shoe that's soft and comfortable and bouncy and dynamic for those longer trail efforts rather than, you know, dead under your foot or super unresponsive, which has just kind of been the tale from a lot of their trail offerings up to this point. While not perfect, I do think that the Exodus Ultra will provide a majority of people who give it a try a really pleasant, fun experience, especially for those longer efforts. And for those who have been looking at the softer, more cushioned shoes that tend to be on the narrower side, this Exodus Ultra could provide them with the experience that they want underfoot while providing them with the comfort and the fit above the midsole that they've been seeking. So overall, I think that this shoe is a blast. Bringing us to our final criteria, is the Saucony Exodus Ultra a buy, try, or a why? At this point, I'm sure you can guess it. It's a buy. I do think that this shoe is going to be really, really nice for a lot of you out there. So I am giving it a solid buy. If you would like more information about the Exodus Ultra, or if you would like to get a pair for yourself, links in the description will take you over to Running Warehouse. You can get the Exodus Ultra or any of your running gear at Running Warehouse. Just by using the link, it does help us out. You don't have to. You can use whatever link you want, but it does help the channel. So consider it if you have not already. If you have any questions, you can also drop them into the comments of this video. If you have tried the Exodus Ultra or previous Exodus, which I have not tried many of, please let us know what those experiences are like in the comments of this video. If you like this review, make sure you like, favorite, subscribe to the channel. We got new content popping every single week. We do daily live streams, all sorts of fun stuff. A reminder, if you would like to support this channel, but also join an incredible community of runners, if you would like to hold yourself accountable and set goals and talk with other runners from around the world who are going through the same things that you're going through, consider joining the GR crew. It is how we run this channel. It's how we do everything here. And we do some really, really fun perks, including our daily live streams. We call it Daily Brew. We'd love to have you. So I have a link below, a link over there, a link everywhere that will take you over to patreon.com/thegingerrunner. It does help us out, but it also is an amazing community of people with a Discord server, trivia nights, book clubs, group runs, everything is happening over there on the GR crew. Thanks all. That's it. We'll see you guys next week for more fun. Get out there, train hard, race harder, and party the hardest. Thanks. Bye-bye.